Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsor.
Breakfast Buzz, a bright and full-bodied breakfast tea, an assertive blend of black tea originating in Assam, Ceylon, and Kenya. Breakfast Buzz is bold with a malted, smoky taste, and just a touch of peat is guaranteed to get your day started right. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies.
All right, thank you all so much for watching again. Shout out The Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below. Go check them out. Guarantee you're going to like it. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
What's up? I'm Iiso Ghostlord.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, where you're from, what you do, give us that Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Yeah, so I go by Iiso Ghostlord. That's my artist alias. Mm-hmm. I've been making music for quite a while, honestly. I wrote my first song in 2011. I was a senior in high school. So
okay.
My first original song, I made it there, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just an all-around artist. I make everything under the sun. I'll give anything a try. Visual art, music, everything. I've done tattoos, stuff like that.
Oh, hell yeah.
If I'm inspired, I'm going to smash it out.
No, I feel that for sure. And what got you started with music initially? What was the jumping off point for you?
So for me, a little bit of backstory. I was kind of born into a bit of a broken family. My dad struggled with addiction growing up. So we separated when I was pretty young. Mm-hmm. And my dad actually taught me my first song on guitar, a Green Day song. Mm-hmm. Something unpredictable, some shit. When I was in 5th grade, he had moved here for a brief moment and taught me that. So that was really my very first introduction, I would say, is learning that Green Day song in 5th grade on guitar.
Okay. Hell yeah. Were there more instances of music throughout your life, or was that really the one that you had and then you kind of ran with it from there?
Yeah, I feel I was always in. When you're in elementary school, you have the little.
Yeah, you got to learn how to play the recorder.
Yeah, or they even do the shows where you're singing and stuff, and they would somehow make me the. I would always be doing the stage stuff, look, there's a fucking snowflake in the sky over there. But just doing those learning the songs in elementary school, I always thought I was always drawn to music and sounds a lot, for sure. My mind would always create stories about the music I was hearing.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And then for this next one, this is we have a couple foundation questions we ask everybody just to kind of keep a running tally of the experience. Mm-hmm. But this first one, it's one we ask early, it's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
That's a good question. It's so funny. I feel the first album I ever bought was on iTunes, if that counts, low-key.
Yeah.
It was probably it's a band called The Dodos. I don't know if you know them.
Yep.
It's the Visitor album by The Dodos. Might have been one of the first ones. The Green Day album, American Idiot or whatever. And then possibly an Arctic Monkeys album back in the day.
Okay.
Definitely in 5th, 4th grade when I discovered Arctic Monkeys and shit. So those are my first 3. Damn.
You had cool taste for an elementary school kid.
I don't know how I found that shit, honestly, but it found me, I guess.
Hey, when I think once you dip the toe into there a little bit, for me, when I found Motion City Soundtrack, the gates just flooded. You know what I mean? Yeah. Once you find that that general introduction to the sound.
Damn, what is this? I need more of this.
Yeah, somebody's going to hear it and be like, oh, if you like them, you're going to love these guys.
Facts, bro.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
And then what was the first live show you went to? That was the first one you wanted to go to.
That's crazy. Honestly, I'm pretty sure the first show I ever went to was my own concert. I had never. When I was a kid, we didn't have extra money for stuff like that. I never was like, oh, I'm gonna go see.
Yeah.
I wasn't even like fans of stuff. I'm not gonna go see Arctic Monkeys. You know what I mean? But as an adult, I think Post Malone, I saw him, was like one of my first concerts I went to.
Well, that counts. I mean,
like 2015.
like when you saw it
Yeah.
doesn't dictate when your first show happens. You know what I mean? Your first show still happens.
My first show was when I was like 2011 or something.
Okay, so your first show was
I performed
first show you ever saw.
went to. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, I mean that's cool in its own way.
Yeah,
What was it like seeing Post Malone though?
it was sick. It was right before he blew up. He had that 5 songs out back in the day, you know. So I was saying,
hell yeah. So it probably
amazing.
wasn't even like the world's biggest show either.
No, there was probably 500 people. It was just pretty big, but the venue could have held 900.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like it wasn't like the Moda Center, you know what I mean?
No. It was like Seattle's fucking like End or something. It was felt like that.
Yeah, and I mean that's sometimes those experiences are really cool to have, especially if you can like go and see them way later when they're
I
like,
can't wait.
yeah, like that. Like, I remember when I saw Chromeo for the first time, I saw him like the Fox Theater. And it was like, you know, I mean, the Fox Theater, you know, shout out, is a good theater to go to. But like, it's
Now,
now they're doing such big things and like playing with a band. Yeah. So it's like the next time I see them, I'm going to be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Although I guess I've seen them like 3 times, but that's neither here nor there. And this next question, this is actually one that I've just recently started asking. So it's kind of a newer one. But is there a particular song that you remember hearing like when you were really young? Like what was one that like the first songs that you remember hearing?
For sure. My mom would listen to like the 105.1 radio, so it would be like Uncle Cracker and fucking, you know what I'm saying, like weird like radio hits that I would just like, you know what I mean?
God, Uncle Cracker's a name I haven't heard in a while.
No, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, that's like what I was exposed to as a kid for the most part.
Well, Unc, if you ever want to be on the show, let's do it. I don't even know if they're still doing music anymore.
I've never looked into them.
Somebody at them in the comments. Let's find out.
Uncle Cracker, we need you now.
Hell yeah. All right. And then before we move on into you as the current artist, do you have a defining moment where like music became more than just like a thing to do? Like, is there like a switch where it like became more serious?
Mm-hmm. I think it became more serious. When I was in middle school and high school, I would do an orchestra and stuff like that. So I was learning instruments, how to read music a little bit, just in the basic form of school. And that was cool. That was fun. You know, still played guitar a little bit. But starting to take it serious was when I started writing original songs, and I just would like film it to hear it back, and I would put it on YouTube to like show the homie or something. And then next thing you know, more people at the school get a hold of it. And it's just having a positive reaction to like some acoustic songs or something like that really made me be like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? Like people like this that you do. That's, you know what I mean? And just seeking that to make someone's life better through music would be, you know what I'm saying? I'm always trying to, how can I increase the quality of life around me?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love that. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on into you in the here and now.
Woo!
And we're going to get super easy one out of the way. How did you pick the name?
Iiso Ghostlord. Me and Bubba were actually in back with Bubs, we're in the group. We started rapping together. I heard Mollywopped by Earl Sweatshirt, and that was what made me be like, oh, like I could rap even though I'm a kid or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know with rap that there was a bit of a disconnect with me that like anyone can just do that. You know what I'm saying? But I've always been like creative writer as well as a kid. You know what I'm saying? So for me, writing songs came really naturally. I loved music so much that I was like, of course I can fucking come up with some chords. And I've always had kind of an ear for it, right? I'm not like technically trained really, but you know what I'm saying? I could play you a scale probably.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you know. So Iiso Ghostlord comes from, it's the triple ISO. So it's like a third eye play on that.
Oh.
I think it's a nice name because it has, everyone has a different meaning for it. For me, it's mostly to represent the shape of the triangle or the Trinity, you know what I mean? But people will be like, oh, it's like isolation, or, you know what I'm saying? Everyone's got their own little quips that they like to attach to it. For me, it's just about strength. It's a strength and solidarity of self, the mind, the body, the spirit. So, and then Ghostlord, I've always kind of had an affinity for supernatural or extraterrestrial stuff. Ever since I was a kid, I kind of was always feeling like very tapped in with the spirit in a way. So I don't even know how Ghostlord came to be. It's just kind of a name that once I started rapping it, I was like, when I'm going on fucking my go hard mode, that's Ghostlord. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
just lately, in the last like 2 years, I've been really compounding the Iiso Ghostlord instead of having one be, when I'm being serious, when I'm really fucking going in on him, I'm just now it's Iiso Ghostlord.
Okay.
So I think it makes it easier to search up and stuff to throw Ghostlord on there than just the triple ISO.
Man, if you would timeline that a little better, you could have done like multiple albums that were like the two separates and then like
the merger,
a collaborative self album.
I haven't actually like changed my artist name on the distro platforms because I use multiple distros, and it's kind of, you have to really, and I don't want to wreck my streams to zero as well, just in case. So I'm considering possibly just starting a fresh distro account as Iiso Ghostlord and maybe only drop like self-produced, like fully self-produced stuff there, or fully moving on to that one and leaving the other as a hidden gems page or something.
Yeah.
I'm kind of working out that pivot right now as far as distro goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's very like MF Doom, Victor Vaughn of you.
I don't even really like, I love MF Doom for sure. He's the goatest, but
you know, I don't think MF Doom's like lore is ever really known by as many people as it should be, but I think that's part of it. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's one of those, as you learn about him, you learn about the layers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Kind of like, you know, really like throwaway answer, but like Banksy.
Oh, of course.
Like Banksy's one of those people that on the surface, you're like, oh, I get it. And then you read about it and you're like, oh, there's stuff here.
100%.
But like on the surface, you're like, oh, edgy, cool, artistic,
graffiti.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how I always feel about Doom. Not that I'm comparing the two. I mean, I would take Doom over Banksy any day.
You have to be brave enough to say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do that." You know what I'm saying, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want my name to be tied to these beats. I want people to fuck with them just because they fuck with the sound of it. You know? Even if it wasn't me. Stephen King used to write books under different pen names and stuff like that. I look at it as pen names almost. Yeah.
Exactly.
So. You know, you got to be brave to evolve and pivot. That's how I always look at it. Remain fluid in it.
Oh, yeah. All right. Now let's go ahead and let's talk about your writing process. And we're going to break it up into chunks, but we're going to start right at the beginning. So when you get inspired, you are ready to make a track. What are some of the things you do to get a track started?
Yeah, it really depends on if I have beats already made like in my inbox from my producer friends or if I'm dry. So generally I've been dry lately, so I'll just open up FL Studio and make a beat immediately, essentially. I'll just start making a beat and make a whole beat. And then once the beat is done nowadays, I just start essentially punching in and freestyling everything. It was a big goal of mine in 2023 to only freestyle because I had gotten so familiar with the pen and writing. Like, of course, I could write any song. I could write anything. Yeah. I'm much more better spoken when I'm written, you know what I'm saying? But I felt like my music was just missing the spark of that life almost, you know what I'm saying? Of the true mood of it and like just that true magic that comes off. And for me, when I'm punching in, I can create flows or melodies that I could never capture and fully hold on to otherwise, you know what I'm saying? So I freestyled all year, 2023. Every track I recorded was off the top punching in. And
oh, hell yeah.
So that's how I've been doing it now.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's a really cool approach to have. Now that it's 2024, are you going to go back to writing stuff down or are you going to keep it going?
You know, I've freestyled every track so far, but I'm not going to keep myself to that rule this year. If it calls for it, I'll write, of course, or something, you know what I mean? I won't let myself not write just because I'm in a challenge with myself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, now that the year's over and you have that solidified, you put in the time figuring out how to do both of them at the most powerful.
Exactly. And for me, I'm always the type to have weird rules for myself that don't necessarily make sense for people. So when I'm writing my verse, I have to write the whole song before I can record it, or I have to at least get through the first verse before I can record it. And then might be forgetting how my energy was or my, you know what I'm saying, my projection and stuff like that. So I just found myself wanting it right on my tongue more, you know what I'm saying, like personally. And it's just a muscle that you have to exercise or else.
If you're not putting in the work regularly, it's something that doesn't really grow the same way.
Yep. So I was just racking up the XP all year last year, just fucking made hundreds of songs, you know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And then once you get a track finished, so it's done being written.
Yep.
How long does it usually take you to get comfortable performing it?
Bro, I mean, to be honest, I feel like my views of performing's changed a little bit, I guess. I'll do it the next day if I could, or if it was like a song that I really felt, if I was feeling the song in my heart, for sure, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even care. I'll play the backtrack. These fuckers are out on stage fucking not even rapping their shit at all. Like if I need it to leave a whatever, you know, and I'm seeing a punchline for the speaker to hit, like I have no shame in my game. It's about creating that good moment. I don't care about creating like the most effective studio sound in my performance. Like I'm going to turn up with you. I'll rock it.
Hell yeah. But I mean, like, I guess just more on a general scale, what is the usual length of time that you feel it would take to be like to know it, like 100%?
Oh, I don't know. And I wouldn't even wait. I wouldn't.
Okay.
Straight up.
So you're just going to go for it every time.
If I like the song, I'd be like, this is my first time ever playing this shit. I don't even know it like that. Let's turn up. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I mean, if that works for you, go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely an element for sure.
Yeah, but I also haven't been playing that much shows. I've been saying no to a lot of things.
Totally. And I think overdoing it on shows can help, but it's not always the move.
For me, especially locally, I was trying to not charge my same homies all the time every weekend, even though they might want it.
Yeah.
I was feeling guilty about stuff.
Oh, that makes sense.
Shouldn't be.
Yeah. No, I get that for sure.
Problems that don't exist in my mind.
Hey, I mean, how dare you be a thoughtful person?
But also, you know what I mean? To reduce accessibility in a sense, especially while I'm honing in on exactly perfect picture of what is my sound, what is my style, you know, because I'm pretty dynamic and eclectic. I'll make any kind of song, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I have a ukulele song now that's like one of my most played, and I dropped it 12 years ago or some shit, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So fucking.
Hey, you never know when something's gonna blow up.
Sometimes I always think I've probably already made a lot of stuff that is gonna help get me there. You know what I mean?
Well, also it's cool. It's appreciated that you put a lot of music out. Like I was definitely trying to scroll through and check out a lot of your stuff, and I was like, oh, this goes deep.
I have like 80 songs on distro. I've been releasing music, for like 10 years.
Yeah. And actually, it's funny because I tell you about a track I like in a moment. But we're gonna
that I have. That's my track.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because we try to run down your most recent stuff. So like your newest track that just came out. I guess it was 2023 still, but like Sundown and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Your most recent album, which was 22 for Karma Collections. But actually, it's funny. We're gonna change up this question because I realized it was just how's your process changed. But you literally gave us the answer. Yeah. So tell us about. Usually, like right now is where I would ask you to kind of tell us about your current sound and what you enjoy about it.
Yeah.
But I also kind of want to hear what was it like making the track Wizardry?
Wizardry, I made it in fucking 25 minutes.
Hell yeah.
My homie sent me the beat, mixed by Thrift, produced by Thrift. Send me the beat. I will never listen to beats. When someone sends me a beat, until I have my mic hot arm to record, I will not even hear the beat.
Interesting.
Because I want that initial moment of when it touched me. If it, when a beat hits, it really hits for you. And I just know that that's when my best idea happened. So I just waited until I could arm it to record. I was sitting there, put it on. Now I'm going through the beats on my email. It was fired, downloaded it, threw it in, punched in and tracked it in 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Oh yeah. Well, it's definitely a vibe. Everybody should definitely go check it out after this.
Wizardry. I like that you like that one. That's a cool one.
That was a fun one. And it was cool because there's a tonality to the beat that I think worked really well, especially with like how your voice ended up sitting on the track. Right. And it felt really together. Like that was the one that jumped out at me. I was like, oh, like this is like, I didn't get to go as deep as I would like. You do have a lot of stuff, but like just getting to that point, I was like, all right, this is the one I want to hear a little bit more about.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And then, like I said before, this is now the point in time where I ask, looking at your current sound, so like your most recent stuff, the thing that you're performing, even stuff that you're working on at the moment that hasn't come out, what are some of the characteristics, the attributes, like the actual descriptive elements of your sound that you enjoy?
Yeah, I guess I would say my my layering, my vocal layering techniques. I do a lot of different. I'm not afraid to use the entire tool of my voice. You know what I'm saying? I'll hit falsetto singing. I'll hit the low shit you ever. You know what I'm saying? I'll even do like screams in my music. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up metal screaming. And so I like my range as an artist. It's probably my favorite part.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I mean that's a good thing to have for sure.
Yeah.
And then for this next question, this is probably the densest question in the interview. But we've definitely talked about, your experiences with music, the reactions, the actions, the things that come from it. But when it's just you and the music one-on-one, what does the music give back to you?
Yeah, for sure. In my life, it feels like just to create things in general is like why I was born. You know what I mean? So the music gives back to me. It's the only reason I make it is that feeling that the music gives back to me. You know what I'm saying? Where I don't know. I'm searching for that feeling where I can't believe it. You know what I mean? But I'm hearing this back and it came from my own body or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Or for me, and it's just my art is like the frame in which I see the world. It's like me expressing like, I'm here now, here I am, or whatever. Like I'm alive right now on earth. You know what I'm saying? So all my music is just like a declaration. So anytime I'm creating, I feel like I'm just sitting with the source of all creativity. And that's where I want to be 100% of the time in my life. As long as I'm alive, I want to be right there with the channel of source energy, creativity, energy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
That's my shit.
I love right in the beginning when you were like, the feeling that the music gives me is the reason that I do the music.
Yeah.
Like,
because it's like a drug to me.
Yeah. No, I love that. And then lastly, at least before we move on to the last segment here, what is your goal with music? But like specifically, what does the end goal look like for you? So not like when you stop doing it, but where is that like final plateau where you're like, I've made it?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Because I really just make music for sheer pleasure, you know what I'm saying? And so I don't ever see a time in my life where music's not a part of my life in some shape or form. Or like, even if I'm an old man with arthritis, you're going to be catching me playing the classic nylon string guitar or something like on my back patio or some shit. But
I guess let's slightly rephrase it. What would you want the end goal to look like as like if you could have all the success that you would like from it?
I guess the end goal just looks like music gives everyone else the same feeling it gives me when I make it, and that it helps me curate a life that allows me to live my life to the fullest extent to help the most people possible in the way that I help them. You know, music for me is, I'm not thinking about the listener when I'm making it. After I release it, I want it to help the listener in some way, help inspire, motivate. You know what I'm saying? I want someone to realize they can do it too, whatever it is that is their thing, whether it's creative or social, or you're a food person, you know what I'm saying? A chef or a cook or a carpentry woodworker, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have it in you to be so great. You know what I mean? That's what I want the whole world to know. I want every person on earth to know.
Hell yeah.
You're fucking so great, and everyone's got that thing in them, you know what I mean? In their own special way.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that. All right, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to some hypothetical questions. And for these ones, sky's the limits. The questions are all made up and the answers are allowed to be 2. And for this first one, pretty straightforward. But if you could work with any one person, the only requirement is they have to be alive. Who would you want to work with and how would you want to work with them?
Like a music artist, huh?
It could be anybody.
That's tough. I'm so like untapped. I don't listen to a lot of music anymore besides like demos and stuff too. So I'm pretty out of touch, but who would I want to work with? I probably want to work with like Iiiso Touchdown or something. He's
okay.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
I fuck with him a lot.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good answer, actually.
I think we'd make a lot of great songs.
I could definitely see that. Hell yeah. And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of, but you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
I haven't gotten to connect with. I would say just more of my friends. All my friends I want to work with. Yellow Trash Can more. I want to work with McConan. I want to work with Bathley. I want to work with, you know what I mean, all these guys.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then for this next one, like I said before, sky's the limits. But if you could perform anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access, building stability, power, guaranteed best lineup, guaranteed best show. And it doesn't have to be a venue.
Okay.
Where would you want to perform?
Personally, me, I'm performing in Atlantis.
Ah.
The underwater lost city.
Okay. Okay, so that's valid because we said before sky's the limits.
Yeah. We'll make it work logistically in the scenario.
Yeah, because I was going to say we saw the whole Titanic thing, and that's what we're trying to avoid again.
Yeah. There'll be good glass in the dome that we create under in Atlantis. So
Perfect. Oh yeah. All right, and then lastly, if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have just put out an album yesterday, could have not put out an album in 100 years. Who would you want an album from, and when would you have wanted it to come out?
It's very interesting. You said they have to be alive?
No, they could be alive or dead.
Oh man, I would just love one more Mac Miller album. You know what I mean? He's a cool dude. So,
oh yeah,
or Capital Steez as well. Rest in peace, Capital Steez, man. He was a crazy rapper from you know him, yeah?
Actually, it's not a name I know.
Oh, Capital Steez. He was in Joey Badass's camp back when they were first coming up.
Gotcha.
And he unalived himself.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I will definitely go check them out now.
Capital Steez, you would like him, I think, but definitely an era.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they're running around with Joey Badass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They must have been pretty badass. That's my one for the week. I'm knocking it out early.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go ahead and we're going to start wrapping this up. Why don't you tell us what we can look forward to, say, the first half of 2024?
Yeah, first half of 2024, we got music videos coming out. I'm dropping new music randomly whenever the hell I feel like it. I'm dropping lots of visual art daily. So, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Staying on the path.
Oh, yeah. And then for this next one, go and look straight at the camera and tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me on every social platform, Iiso_Ghostlord. That's triple ISO. It's a 3-I thing. _Ghostlord.
And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
I want to shout out to you if you're listening to this, because that means you're really tapped in. Jimmy's an amazing host, amazing dude, and you're in the right place if you're seeing this here now and hearing these words. Let's fucking go.
Thank you. All right, now we've got one last question to go. But before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second. As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below. Go check them out. I guarantee you're going to like it. With that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation. But what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? So it's not one a lot of people know, but it's one you think everybody should know.
I think you should know the True Colors Collection by myself, Iiso Ghostlord. I don't even be listening to much other music anymore. I don't even know about albums like that. I was never an album guy. So you should listen to the one I put out. True Colors Collection.
Hell yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, I'll go check it out. All right, we're going to get up on out of here. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Oh, yeah. This has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Iiso Ghostlord.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap. This is not a podcast. This is a show. Keep jamming.